and welcome back to the program. You're watching Morning Thailand with Phi and Golf. Now, talking about the heavy rain, Kun Phi, it seems like it's getting worse and worse, and you definitely have to brace yourself for this. Even if you're not in Bangkok, I believe that you still have to, because at this point, the meteorological department has came out and talked about 18 provinces that include Bangkok already that will have to brace for heavy rain during especially this weekend and perhaps earlier next week. Now they said that at this point the Disaster Prevention and Mitigation Department has came out and talked about 18 provinces altogether that have to brace for the heavy rain. That's including, just to give you a few, นครราชสีมา ชัยภูมิ สุรินทร์ บุรีรัมย์ ขอนแก่น So all the northeastern provinces, you have to brace yourself for that, especially in the terms of flash floods as well as mudslide. And this is from yesterday all the way to the 20th, but I would say that it's probably well over maybe till Tuesday and Wednesday and such. Now in Bangkok, however, 37 spots altogether. At this point, I'll give you a few. In Dusit district, you have to brace yourself for that. So several districts: Dusit, ราชเทวี พญาไท จตุจักร บางซื่อ หลักสี่ สายไหม ประเวศ วังทองหลาง บางกะปิ คลองเตย บางรัก บางบอน บางขุนเทียน So let's just say
around
exactly. So at this point, you have to really be, a little bit more prepared. They're not saying that it will be as bad as you have to remove all your belongings to the upstairs, but still, you might see quite a bit of a heavy rain. So if you know that your house is a little bit lower than the other area around your district, then brace yourself for that. If you have, your belongings that you cherished that cannot be touched by all this water, make sure that you remove it upstairs or at least to a higher ground, because at this point, we're going to see a little bit of that. Plus, make sure that when you drive, just be sure that you know where you're going in terms of, the level of the street. Because if there's a heavy rain during that time and your car is very low, the chances are it might stall, and obviously there's going to be a traffic. So you have to brace yourself for that too. So I guess over this weekend, if you see a lot of heavy rain and if you do not have to absolutely go out to do your business, then please stay home, because it's going to be added traffic into the street anyways.
And more importantly, if you really have to leave the house, just leave the house early, because the traffic might be very bad, and also check the condition of your cars.
Exactly. So for people in Bangkok and people in the provinces, make sure that the bridges that you take and such are strong enough, because obviously we have seen several of the incident as well, and flash flood, mudslide. So when it's deal with Mother Nature, it's hard to prepare beforehand, but at least you've been warned.
Yes, of course. And as promised, I have the story about the arrest of the forged dollar banknote yesterday. Kun Tharit Pengdit, the DSI Director General, along with Police Lieutenant Colonel Yanpon Yangyun, the Deputy Director General of the DSI, has held a press conference on the arrest of a suspect on counterfeiting charges following the investigation result that Thai and U.S. authority from the U.S. Secret Service had joined hands in the investigation into the selling of a variety of counterfeit currencies. The suspect, Kun Pisit or Kun Bancha Ritikun Pipat, age 67, he was a former bank employee, was charged on several charges of counterfeiting, and he admitted that he sold the forged bills for so many years now. And along with the currency detector, several documents related to the case, there were the $1,100 banknotes seized as evidence at his home in Bungum district of Bangkok. As I said, the apprehension was stemmed from the joint sting operation between Thailand, DSI, and U.S. Secret Service investigators.
Wow.
So on Tuesday, DSI detective had contacted the suspect on a tip-off and made a deal to purchase the fake $1,100 banknotes worth in genuine 3.2 million, right? But they were sold at 800,000 baht. So a lot cheaper. The suspect confessed that normally he sold the forged bills at a third of the value of the genuine banknotes, and he confessed that he was a wholesale dealer for the forgery operation, but denied being involved in the wholesale. Yes. Denied involvement in the producing and printing of the fake banknotes. So he was taken into custody on several charges, and if convicted as a punishment of violators of Article 244, 240, and 241 of the Criminal Code, he might be receiving jail term of between 1 to 15 years and also a fine of around 2,000 to 30,000 baht.
He's very old too. That's the sad part.
67, and reports said that he was arrested and have to come to the police station on a wheelchair because he has had a diabetes and he couldn't walk.
That's just interesting, you know? People just, if you're a criminal, it doesn't matter how sick you are, like physically, you're still able to like sell stuff that's not legal.
Reports said that earlier, before he was retiring, he worked as in the department that handled foreign money at the undisclosed bank.
So use his previous knowledge for not a very good reason, obviously. All right, moving on to another case. This involved a little bit abroad as well in Sweden. Apparently, there's a group of Thai laborers or workers that I haven't, realized this before, but apparently there's a lot of Thai workers that go to Sweden to become the fruit pickers. So they would go to different orchards and pick fruits. As that's it's almost like when the neighboring countries.
You know what? This is like a very famous job for Thai workers who fly abroad and work as a fruit picker.
Yeah, I've never realized that, but apparently this has surfaced, especially on the social media on Facebook, because one of the person actually posted on a page Facebook, and this become a little bit more concerned. So at this point, already as of today, there will be a group of officials, Thai officials, that will fly to Sweden to actually contact and make sure that these people will actually receive the support that they needed. Now they say that on the 10th, just this past few days, they say that in the Thai embassy in the Stockholm of Sweden, there have been a report that people in Umeå, which is one of the town in Sweden itself, in the northern part, 100 to 140 of the Thai workers actually protested in front of the labor unions, trying to get some justice for themselves, because they say that they went to Sweden legally with all the documents and such. However, it seems that the company that hired them did not give them the money for the wages that they were supposed to receive. Plus, there's also a little bit of money that has been taken out of their pocket as well as insurance money, which is, for them, it's almost at this point nothing left for them to live on. And they say that it became quite dramatic due to the fact that one of them actually even tried to hang himself. But luckily his friend helped him, so that did not happen very badly. Apparently at this point, the Labor Ministry, along with the Foreign Ministry, has already worked together and sent a group of the officers to go to meet all these workers and see what they can do. Obviously, we're not prone to, living in the cold condition, and these people, the chances are they came from the provinces, so sometimes it's not as they're not adaptive. So to be outside in the cold weather, that's kind of a quite bad situation for them. And they say at this point, along between during this month, July to September, this is when most of Thai workers were hired to go abroad, about 6,000 altogether for this year alone already. So, and more would probably, we have to resolve this issue because it seems like they don't want trouble with the Swedish government either.
Yes, and to make things worse, all of these people had borrowed money to pay for the operating costs in hopes of getting high payment.
Exactly. So hopefully this is going to resolve soon. Obviously, the officials is on their way. So just give you updates on those.
Yes, and now we're taking a short break, and up next, of course, we give you a little bit of a glimpse before the...
I think we have another one.
Okay, of course.
You have one more.
One more story before we go into the break is the case involving the Office of the Auditor General of Thailand, and they had submitted a letter to the Director General of Department of National Parks, Wildlife and Plant Conservation, asking the Director General to prosecute 11 officials of the Royal Forest Department who were suspected of corruption in the forest preservation project to minimize impact of global warming at Thung Salang Luang National Park in Phitsanulok province. This happened in the year 2008. Preliminary investigation suggested that these 11 officials had been involved in forging documents and abusing their authority in presenting the details of reservoir construction to the government at that time in order to ask for the allocation of budget, causing the government to lose around 2.8 million baht. That goes for nothing.
That's a lot of money.
And apart from these 11 officials, the Office of the Auditor General had also asked the authority to look into whether or not the senior Forest Department officials, Khun Sakda Vichiansin, he's the current chief of Natural Resources Department in Pattani, who hated the Phitsanulok regional office in the year 2008. So that means he was the chief of the project back in the year 2008 where this corruption happened. So they will look into whether or not he was involved in this evil plan as well. Kun Glanarong Chantik said that the budget of 707 million baht has been allocated for this project alone.
Wow.
And this happened when Kun Anungwan Thepsutin was the Natural Resources and Environment Minister. And they said that in this particular project, up to 500 officials of the Royal Forest Department and the Natural Resources and Environmental Department has been involved in this corruption project as well.
All right. So at least, we able to see some justice, because 2 million,
hopefully.
Over 2 million is a lot to actually lose at this point. All right, let's go for a short break now. And then we, of course, have the situation of the rubber price farmers protesters to report, as well as the House deliberation that taking place today. So please stay tuned.